It's looking more and more like Diddy's lawyers are his ops. And the poetic justice of this is chef's kiss. Because not only are they putting his case in jeopardy by ticking off the judge, but they are trying to get a mistrial declared, which could actually lead to more charges being added to Diddy's case. Because new information that Cassie gave during their cross-examination seems to tie directly to a case that shook the industry years ago. So when Kid Cudi was under redirect last week, Diddy's lawyers tried to pull a fast one by asking for a mistrial because of an answer that had not even been given. And when the judge denied the request, Brian Steele went so far as to put the judge on notice, which led to the judge saying that Brian couldn't put him on notice.
After Diddy's lawyer told the judge he was putting him on notice for a mistrial, the judge was like,
"Who the f*** you think you talking to?"
So not only are they alienating the court with sloppy and arrogant tactics, but if you've learned anything from the Matlock Perry Mason Law and Order Legal School, it's that lawyers should never ask a question they don't know the answer to. And yet Diddy's lawyers have been stomping all over that during the trial. And never more so than when they cross-examined Cassie about all the footage from the FOs that the government is using in the case. That footage actually came from broken devices that were in Cassie's possession, meaning that Cassie's broken devices held the only evidence of the FOs. They thought they were proving a point, basically implying Cassie was a willing participant by saying, how could Diddy have used the threat of exposure to make her stay if she's the one who actually had all the videos? Which includes the video that showed the Intercontinental Hotel hallway footage. Footage that, according to the testimony of the hotel security guard, Israel Flores, Diddy unsuccessfully tried to bribe him for with a thick stack of cash, because if it got out, Diddy told Flores that he didn't want to lose anything and he could lose it all. And Diddy even texted Cassie after she left the hotel saying, please call, he was surrounded, and that he was getting arrested. Then the same footage that Diddy was afraid would have destroyed everything mysteriously disappeared before it could be downloaded from the hotel's hard drive, which means that a fixer was possibly called in to get a hold of the footage. And during that time, there was one man that Diddy counted on to get him out of trouble and save him from jail.
Usually Clarence gets the call from a position of fear because I called him like most people call him. He's the one to call when we're in trouble. You know, I'm sitting here because he kept my ass out of jail like 2-3 times. I'm gonna give it to you raw. Clarence makes sure that you don't get straight up. There's a lot of going on in the entertainment industry, and if you are important to the overall greater good, he's gonna step in like super black man.
And outwardly, Diddy was seen as important to the culture, with the horror at the Intercontinental Hotel happening just months before he was to be named #1 on Forbes 5 as the richest man in hip-hop with a net worth over $820 million. In the culture, with businesses that cross industries, he was considered an economic pioneer. And so Clarence, known as the Black Godfather, probably stepped in to help, as he had in other situations. But this help came with strings. Possibly something like Clarence would keep the hotel video and other video evidence that police had seized when they came to the hotel in safekeeping. But Diddy had to clean up his act.
I'm cured now though, everybody. I'm cured. Everything's good. You know, y'all can have me over for dinner. Everything is good. Thanks to the Godfather Clarence.
So Diddy put on a public act to comply, hinting at changing his name to Brother Love in 2017 to soften his image, trying to act like he wanted to help the culture more. Meanwhile, his behavior was still atrocious in his private life. And as you can see from the bug-eyed, jittery behavior in these clips from when Diddy sat down for this documentary for Clarence Avant in 2019, something was about to give. because in no way was that appearance giving cured. Allegedly, Diddy was the one used to holding the leverage over people, with his wild parties and his alleged MO of getting people on film. So on the one hand, you have Clarence helping to scare Diddy out of tight spots. But on the other hand, you have Clarence possibly helping others out of Diddy's tight spots. Because as Cassie recently testified in the trial, when she was finally ready to leave, she had to fight hard to get out of Diddy's contract. And by the end of 2019, she was free and clear with a new marriage and baby on the way. And from his speech at the Roc Nation pre-Grammy brunch on January 26, 2020, just weeks after Cassie gave birth to her first child, it was clear that those videos from the 2016 hotel incident were front and center on his mind.
It's 2020, y'all, and it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
And from the pictures that Diddy took with Clarence on that same day, it looked like he wasn't happy with Clarence Avant's hold over him. Fast forward to December 1st, 2021, when Clarence Avant's wife, Jacqueline, was taken out in the middle of the night by what the news reported as a random home intrusion. But based on the evidence found and subsequent events, turned out not to be so random after all. Because the intruder was caught just 7 miles away after he called the police to report that someone in a ski mask had got him with a blicky injury in his foot, which police later reported as being from his own piece. And by April of 2022, after 4 months of investigation, police discovered that not only did he have Clarence Avant's home address stored in his phone, like someone had told him exactly who to target, but the intruder also bragged to friends on jailhouse phone calls that he expected to get $50,000 from doing the Avant house. And after agreeing to a plea deal where he was sentenced to 190 years to life in prison, he also told his friend that he would be getting out of jail after about 20 years. But what most of the media didn't report at the time was that when police captured him just an hour after the intrusion at the Avant house, they found him with 3 bags full of underwear, socks, and charging cords from various electronic devices, but not the devices themselves. Almost like someone had chased him down and took back what was taken from the Avant house and left him a sitting duck for police to catch as a message to whoever sent him. And it was obvious that someone sent him, because why would an inept robber know anything about a man like Clarence Avant, who stayed behind the scenes? What could he have been looking for in that house that he would think he could get $50,000 for? Who promised him that after 3 strikes as a career offender with a body on him, that he would ever get out of jail? And when did a case ever get completely resolved in 4 months? Everyone in the industry knew what was up, but what they didn't know was that Diddy didn't have the devices, and Diddy wasn't telling anyone, because the illusion of power was something he had been using to control others all his life. So he strutted around, launching the Love record label and saying he was creating a Love album. And just weeks after the Avant case was closed, Diddy hosted the Billboard Music Awards, and in his opening monologue declared that he was the freest ninja in the world.
I told the producers I'm not listening to anything that they say, not doing any of that stuff, because I'm the freest nigga. Yes, take your time, look at it.
Then, a month later, he would openly taunt Cassie at the BET Awards for holding him down during his darkest nights.
Yeah, and also Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love.
A reminder that possibly triggered Cassie and sent her into a downward spiral, because according to her recent testimony, in early 2023, she began to have ideations which by March of that year led to her trying to walk out into traffic to end it all before her husband grabbed her in the nick of time. She finally began her recovery process in rehab, and she wrote a book detailing all the trauma and sent that to Diddy along with a request for $30 million, a request that Diddy ignored. Then, in August of 2023, Clarence Avant, at the age of 92, passed away in his home. And just a few months later, on November 16, 2023, Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy that initially Diddy called all lies and vowed to fight, until less than 24 hours later settling out of court with Cassie for $20 million, leaving many to wonder what she had on Diddy to make him settle so quickly. Could it possibly be that after Clarence Avant's passing, Cassie received the leverage to back up her claims? Does anyone else see a connection between the intruder who took out Clarence Avant's wife being found with bags full of charging cords but no devices, and Cassie testifying that she had several electronic devices that she called broken because she couldn't turn them on, meaning they were not charged because maybe they had no cords? Devices that, according to testimony, 2 weeks after her lawsuit was settled, the feds had a warrant to seize. If Cassie had these devices all along, wouldn't she have used them a long time ago? Or did Clarence Avant posthumously make sure Diddy's alleged victims had all the leverage they needed to finally take him down? And with Diddy's lawyer starting this line of questioning into how and why she had the devices, they're opening the door for the feds with just a little investigation to level a whole new set of even more serious charges against Diddy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.